Welcome back to Paracord Reviews, and this week we're going to continue our interview with John Prescott. Today we talk about how he got started, some of the things he's doing with his Paracord, and his journey into selling. So stay tuned. I went through some of the stuff that you've posted on Paracord Junkies, and I noticed you do a lot of like metals or you add a lot of accessories to yours. What are you looking for when you do that? Is there like a theme? Do you just go out and look for stuff that really pops to you, or do you do it based on request or what?
Well, sometimes it is request, but most of the time I do like metal beads and big buckles. I do usually try to stay with some kind of theme. Like if I'm going with a Viking hammer, then I'll try to throw some Viking beads in there, maybe something like that. I usually do try to keep a theme.
Okay. Where do you get your ideas for that from?
Um, uh, Other Paracord people, Facebook, videos, a lot of just researching hardware. I'll see something I like and I'll decide to make a piece just for that piece of hardware.
Do you ever use anything like, so one of the things I do a decent amount of is what I call bullet jewelry. I'll take a bullet casing and use it as a button or as an end piece. Do you find that you use anything not traditional as part of your paracord bracelets and your stuff?
I try, honestly, I do. I find myself, because I'm a 30-year painter and I'm pretty handy. I've done a lot of different things. I'm constantly in hardware stores and places looking for something that has nothing to do with paracord that I could somehow implicate it.
Sure. Give me an example. What's something that you've been able to implement or add?
I honestly, I was trying to think of something while I was explaining it, and I can't really come up with nothing now. I'm actually sitting in my shop where I work, and I'm looking, and I can't really give you an example, honestly.
That's fair.
But my brain is constantly looking at other things.
No, I hear you. I'm always, whether it be Harbor Freight, Lowe's, Home Depot, or sometimes just even, just out and about, I'll be like, I wonder if I could do something with that. Yeah. So
I guess most of the things that I'm looking at is I make my own jigs. So most of the hardware and things that I'm buying from my jigs, I'm always searching for something that's just quicker to get off the bracelet off it, or easier, things like that.
So I think for like a lot of us, it starts as a hobby, and then you got some friends that'll say, and tell me if this is what happened to you. You got some friends, oh, hey, can you make me a bracelet? Could you make me a belt or whatever? And then you find that, hey, maybe I can do this. What's your story? What led you to start selling?
I'll be honest, a lot of my friends think I'm nuts because they consider this like an arts and crafts type thing. I really don't, and I guess my image per se, they don't see me as the kind of guy that would be artistic or do things like this. This, for me personally, the bracelets I kind of stumbled upon, and I didn't realize I was going to love it like this. So most of my friends look at me like they think I'm this manly, like, what's wrong with a manly guy that wants to make bracelets that are colorful and things? Like, a lot of my friends think I'm nuts. So I think my wife is probably the only person that's really like accepted it and got in it with me.
Uh-huh.
Like, my wife will sit right next to me and make something. She'll make a nice piece herself.
Oh, cool. That's a paracording couple. That's a first for me. That's cool though. That's cool.
It's very cool. Yeah, it is.
I know
Most of the time she's off doing her thing and I'm doing my thing. And this is like something we love to do together.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is awesome. Um, so where do you I mean, you sell your items. Do you set them up on, do you sell online? Do you go to craft fairs? How do you sell your items?
I do mostly Facebook,
Uh-huh.
and we go to a flea market here in my city.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty much it. I am in the process of getting ready to set up an Etsy account.
Uh-huh. Cool. So, where do you think you sell more, on Facebook or on at the flea market?
Definitely flea market.
And so, is it pretty much like, what did you have to do to get set up? I know you probably had to set up, build your, or get some displays and all that, but did you have to set up like, pick up a square so you could take credit card? Or are you doing pretty much cash only? How
Uh,
do you,
yeah, I do pretty much just cash at this flea market.
cool. So what do you,
I pretty much built my own displays
that's
and
great.
just popped them on a table.
That's great. So what do you think are the advantages of selling personally, person to person, versus doing it online?
Well, I come to find it's a lot easier to read a person's body language when you're face to face. You get a good read of what the person's willing to pay.
Uh-huh.
And online, there's, look, I ain't ashamed to say it. I like haggling. Like, we'll go at it. As long as we're both at the end happy with the price, then it's all good.
Sure. Any disadvantages of doing it at the flea market though?
Yeah, I'm lazy. I don't really want to be out there, but but I do want to sell my stuff.
Hey, I get it. You probably got to get up early and you're there for a while, and uh, you go through those lulls and everything else.
Yeah, and I work 6 days a week myself. Like, I run a crew of 5 guys. I don't really, I don't want to get up on the weekends, but like I said, I do enjoy making the bracelets and I do want to eventually get rid of them.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. So if somebody came to you and said, "Hey, John, um, I'm I'm in Seattle, Washington. I'm in Austin, Texas, and I want to do this. I want to do this kind of like you do. I want to sell online. I want to do this." What would you tell someone who is thinking about it?
um, I, I would tell them if you're really into it, then it can be done. Uh, Take it slow. Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
And next week, we'll wrap everything up with the final installment of our interview with John Prescott. Until then, keep paracording.